Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of KimDix Talks Tuesdays. If you're new here, my name is Kim. I currently live in Japan where I do traveling and lifestyle videos. So if you're into traveling, food, culture, and just life in Asia in general, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that post notification bell. That way you'll never miss another video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for all your love and support. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. So in today's video, we'll be talking about reverse culture shock. So back in February, guys, I visited Jamaica. And if you haven't seen that vlog, go ahead and check it out right here. And what happened was I experienced reverse culture shock and I could not believe it. And for those of you who don't know, reverse culture shock is just a feeling that you experience once you return back to a culture that is familiar to you. However, you're feeling like an outsider, like you just don't belong. And that was what was happening to me. I live and I work in Japan. And Japan is a homogeneous society, which means that 97.8% of the people here are Japanese and they only speak Japanese. And less than 1% of the people look like me. So at my job, I go to work and what happens is I'm the only foreigner in the building. That means that I'm constantly hearing Japanese around me. With that way of life, you kind of learn to just be invisible kind of, because nobody's necessarily talking to you. You're not really interacting with anyone. You're just there and kind of like an invisible person most of the times. That's how it is. So you get into that role of, okay, I just don't hear or I don't understand, they're not speaking to me, and your ears, you kind of just get like a lackadaisical kind of, and you're just there living in the moment. That's how it is for me. These are my experiences. So back in February, I left from Japan and I went to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta I went to Kingston, Jamaica. So I was in Atlanta. When I got in, the first thing that caught me off guard, where I knew that something was wrong, and also Japan is a very quiet country, guys. There's not really much loud talking, very quiet. It's very quiet in the train. People are really minding their business. Their level of minding their business is on another level. Okay, so the first thing that got me was when I got into the plane. Like I said, there are not many people that look like me. So normally when I'm traveling outside of Japan, majority of the people don't look like me. So I'm used to that. But I was traveling with Delta, and the flight, like I said, it was going to Atlanta. It's known to be a black city. And so the flight crew, majority of them was black. And I was in there, and guys, that was the first thing that got me. It wasn't that they were black. It was the talking, the loud talking, and I was like, okay. Like I said, I'm used to being in my own head, being in my own world, and just tending to my business. But I couldn't do that because it was just, and I was just like, okay, all right, okay. So I was there, got through the flight, I went to sleep. I was tired, got through the flight, got to Atlanta. Now guys, you know, I don't know, I like to go to airports and watch people. I like to people watch in general. I know, don't knock it till you try. It's so much fun, guys, but that's another story for another day. So I got to Atlanta, and anyone who was watching me would have known I was a fish out of water. This was me. I got to Atlanta, I got off the plane, and I was just like, because my ears was just like, they were on fire. I can't explain it. My ears were on fire. Like I could understand everything, and I was just like, oh my God, I can hear everything. I'm understanding what is being said to me, because even though I live in Japan and I work in Japan, and I'm saying that there's not much English, I do understand some Japanese, but I'm not fluent in no kind of way. In fact, I would compare my skills to a toddler, and even then I would say the toddler would have the upper hand. They would be more advanced than I am because I'm just trash, right? So I got home and I was just like, whoo, I'm understanding. And I started walking, and I'm walking, and I'm looking around like this. I see a couple of black people as soon as I'm walking through the airport, but then we're going to baggage claim, right? And I'm just like, wait a second, hold on. I stopped. I literally froze in my tracks. It's been a while now since I've seen so many black people. I literally stopped and I pulled out my phone and I called my best friend, and he works at the airport in Atlanta, and I was like, Corey, I think I'm having reverse culture shock. Where are you? Did you already leave work? Like, this is crazy. Like, I am feeling things. I'm just like, just looking around and I'm taking everything in, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is happening? There's so many black people. And I went to the restroom. I had to take a break. Like, I was like, all right. And meanwhile, I'm telling you, my ears is like on fire. My ears is doing something that I don't know if it's because it's all the English. I don't know, guys. So I got my life back together, got back outside. So I'm also of Caribbean descent. I'm also Jamaican. And as I'm walking, I'm starting to hear patois. And I'm like, wait a second, how come they're just saying it like that? Because in the States, for those of you Jamaicans who live overseas, you know that we use our patois as a coverage. We can say whatever we want because we know that majority of the people in the States aren't going to understand what we're saying. So that's our little like secret language. So as I'm walking, I'm hearing patois, and I'm just like, I understand. Like, it was just like a point of realization where I just couldn't believe that I was understanding everything that was being said out of the people's mouths. And guys, I sat down at my gate and I was there, and I was just, I tell you, people would have thought that there was something wrong with me. If I had seen me, like from an outer body experience, I would have thought that I was on drugs or this girl was slow or something, because I was just literally, I was in everybody's conversation because everybody's so loud. Again, everybody is so loud in the West. Like in Asia, everybody's really quiet. You want to respect public spaces and stuff, but everybody was so loud. So I was in everybody's conversation. So I was laughing when people were giving their jokes. I was in the conversation, and it felt like I was on fire. I can't explain. It was like I was on fire, but at the same time, I still didn't feel like I belong. I didn't feel a part of anything. When I got to the island, it took a little while for my ride to come and get me. So I was out there, and I didn't feel a part of anything. It was just kind of like watching a movie, watching everybody else, and I couldn't get with it. Talking to my dad, and I was just like, I can't believe it. And I'm hearing and I'm understanding everything. So it took me a minute. So that was the first day. So the second day, I got up and I got dressed and I got ready, and I was like, cool. So then I found out, guys, that I was longing to talk. No, I can talk. So, and I've always worked into fields where it involves a lot of talking. So the second day I got dressed and I was ready. I was like, okay, Kim, you got this. You know what it is. Now you understand. You're hearing things. So now what you can do, you can talk. So this time, guys, instead of just looking, smiling, and laughing from a distance, people were having conversation. I don't know the people. I would just walk up to them and I would be like, yeah, like A and B would be talking. I know everybody was looking at me so weird. And my father was like, leave the people alone, like, come on. I'm like, no, you don't understand this urge just to speak naturally, and know that when I'm speaking, I don't have to use caveman English or just strip down my knowledge. Because when you live in Japan and you're an English speaker, you realize that even the Japanese who speak English, they're not very, even if they say that they're a native speaker, you start talking to them and you realize, oh no, you have to like strip down. That level of English has become so stripped down that you start using that caveman English. And it was just so nice to just open up my mouth and just speak, not thinking what is the best way to communicate my thoughts, or being able to just seeing something, reading and understanding. It was just little things like that that really excited me. So I was in everybody's conversation. It was just like Miss Chatty. I know that I was annoying people, but who cares? I was just all over the place, just chatting. So yeah, so that was my experience, and I found it funny. What I did find though when I got to Jamaica, it was, see, okay, so I haven't been in Jamaica in 10 years. And the experience in Atlanta and the experience in Jamaica was two different experiences. So in Atlanta, I was surprised by how many black people there were, because in my mind, see, I live in North Carolina, and there is a nice mixture of black and white, a lot of diversity there. So there, when I got to Atlanta, I think that's where that shock of, it was like, okay, I'm going back home. So that was nice. But when I was thinking about going back home, I was still thinking about that diversity like North Carolina. But it never clicked to me like, baby, you're going to be in Atlanta. That's not going to happen. So that was the first thing that caught me off guard. Now, the reverse culture shock that I felt in Jamaica had to deal with safety, because I haven't been there for over 10 years, and as I said, my father was a little bit late for me. So I was there and I was just like, oh my god, watching my back, and that was something that I wasn't used to as well. So I was on edge in both of the countries, and I just felt like an outsider. I didn't feel like I belong in any of the two worlds. I felt like an outsider, and it was really surprising to me. It was really shocking, and I got very upset with myself for feeling those things. And one big thing that I did find with leaving from Japan, going back to America, and then eventually heading to Jamaica, was that a lot of the traits that I've picked up in Japan, I was now using. So when people were talking to me, I was sounding like an idiot. Like, I was so used to breaking down my English and dialing down my intellect that when I was speaking to people, it would be like caveman English still. And it took me a couple of days for me to get that right. That was difficult. Guys, it annoyed me. I was very annoyed by my behavior and by what was happening. After a few days in the country, I kind of got back to myself, where it was like, alright, let's get this party started. So that's was a little bit about the reverse culture shock that I experienced while visiting Jamaica. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on your post notification bell. And comment down below and let me know, have you ever experienced the reverse culture shock? Until next time, bye.
Yeah, I need you with me by my side.